Hello, guys. Welcome back to a new episode. This is Book Club of the Month, and if you are watching this in May, it's because I filmed it in May. So I failed my challenge. I already failed it. It's been like this is the fifth month, so I failed it on the fourth month. But it be like that sometimes, and we just keep pushing because at the end of the day, I finished the book. I finished the book, and this is the book that I finished. It is called this big old book, and it's called The Eye of the World by Richard Robert Jordan. I don't know where I got Richard from. And let me tell you about this book. Let me tell you about the book before I tell you about the summary. This book has 800 plus pages. I know it sounds like an excuse, and it is, and I will keep making excuses because it is literally 800 pages, and I took 2 months to finish it. Like the last book you saw last month, if you watched our last video, watch it somewhere here, literally was a book I read like months ago, and I never finished it because I just didn't care. It was before the challenge. I just read it, and then 2 chapters later, threw a book away. Came back to finish it when I had no book to finish. And this book, 800 pages. But let me tell you, I do not like this style of writing. I don't know what it is with the pages or what it is with the binding of this book, but the binding of this book is terrible. So I can just show you guys how outstretched I have to pull it just to make it work. Look at that. I have to. You probably can't even tell, but I'm pulling the book damn near on its spine to make me see the pages fully. Like I can't see the words unless I pull it on its spine, and that's me every single time. So I need two hands on this book at all times, or I'm not reading this book very well. So I have to switch from reading a physical copy to a book online. So I have to find a book online. Wasn't hard. If you know, you know. And I just read it on my phone, which took me same amount of time. It did not help. There's an excuse because it did not do anything. But the point is, I finished a book, but it is in May, so it took me 2 months. But who really cares? I finished a book. I don't know. I want to keep doing this challenge. If I'm being so honest with you, because this was a struggle. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't care about reading anymore. I don't watch many shows, so I don't know what it is with me and not caring about imagination. But I, I obviously finished a book for a video. I finished it for you guys. I finished it for my YouTube channel, right? So if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I already said this before, but if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would not have been reading. I would have just left it carrying dust like it has been the last 2 years because I had this book for 2 years. Don't worry about it. And I'm realizing that the channel obviously helps me read, but pushes me to finish these books because I have like at least 20 more books to read. I don't know why I keep bringing more books. I brought down a book in the fold. It's about Chicago, and it's like a has pictures of like old Chicago. I thought it was so cool. I mean, obviously I don't have to read it for you guys because it's just pictures. But I brought it, and I'm like, girl, you don't like reading. Why do you keep grabbing books? I don't know. I don't know. I don't need a Kindle to read because I'm not gonna read it. So I finished a book for you guys because realistically, I was never gonna do this. But let's get into the summary because I can yap your head off all day because this is just book club. This is book club. And today I'm just gonna tell you about my thoughts, feelings, and if I felt anything when reading it. Because honestly, I felt like it was a long ass book, and it was. It wasn't even the longest book I've read in my life. The longest book I read in my life was literally It by Stephen King. It was like 1,100 pages. I read it in high school. It took me 2 months. So I mean, this one has like 800 pages. So realistically, around that same range. And I was like less busy in high school than I am now. Maybe I was more busy. I had club. I'm making excuses. Let's try to talk about this book. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of the book because literally I don't know half of the map or world building they did because it's the first book and everything sounds like a made up language. So I don't know too much about it. But I will try my best because literally at the end of the day, it's just a book and it's the first book out of like 7 or 8 books. This is like the first out of like 14 books. And I don't know if I'm going to keep reading 14 books, but maybe one day if I, forget that I struggled, I will. But long story short, it's about these kids who are from like the countryside of the world. Their name is Rand, Matt, and Perrin. They're 3 kids, like 12 to 15 years old, and they are being like they live their life, right? They're country kids. They just do whatever they do as a country kid. They work out. They literally tend to horses, sheeps, whatever, like whatever. One day, these bad people, like bad monsters, not even people, these bad monsters are tracking them down, and they try to kill everyone to get to them. No one knows why. All we know is that they're actually being tracked down to die. And it's like this powerful person who's in town already because she's just there, and no one knows who she is because, like, she's just in town. She's just wandering through, literally wandering through, and she's like a bodyguard, and it's like great or whatever. And everyone's like, oh my god, an outsider. But they're happy because like they're in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, oh, we love people who are like outside. And she looks beautiful apparently. But after the attack, she basically realized like, oh, you guys are the main reason why you're being attacked. Like they want you. These monsters are looking for you. It's like any other fictional storyline with a young protagonist. But we have like three, so they're looking for all three. So literally throughout this whole book, she is like taking these kids from like their little countryside of the world to like damn near the other half of the world where it's like a population of people who are looking for them because these monsters are being controlled by someone who is considered a dark one. So any villain that you ever thought, but think of Voldemort for Harry Potter. It's the same thing, right? Everyone goes after Harry Potter, and throughout the entire book, they are like being separated and fighting against these other like monsters, not just the ones they saw, but other monsters as well, and being stopped at every turn. And they're having to like realize like nothing's like home. Like they left their tiny little home in a cottage and they wanted to leave because they wanted to see more of the world, and they saw more of the world, and now they're like regretting it because they're being chased to death, right? Like they literally feel like every time they stop somewhere for food and water, they're gonna die. But they come back, they go to like this place that they're supposed to be at. She takes them to a specific place where they're supposed to like learn more about who they are or whatever. I don't know. Get power, I guess. Get the real reason why they're being chased. And they don't really explain too much about what they're being chased for. We just know that the Dark One, the main monster puppeteer guy, he just wants them for their abilities. He wants to control them because he thinks that they are the reason, like they are the way for him to be free from whatever shackles that he is in. Because he is shackled up, but he can enter their minds, whatever, right? Villain stuff. And basically, by them going to the outside of the world, by the time this book ends, they are able to like not obtain the power, but obtain a little bit more about who they are. And one of the main characters, this is a spoiler obviously, one of the main characters, Rand, he literally gets the power that the woman who was helping them, she has the same exact power, but his is stronger and he's 12. So it kind of just goes to show like, oh, he like they're right to like chase after him, not for anything good. Obviously he's still a kid and he didn't do anything wrong, but they obviously want to control someone who has potential to touch this power and essentially help them destroy the world, because why not? And the whole point of the story is to be like, oh well, we gotta get you to point A to point B. But point B is like, it's like all the way to the back. It's like point A, point 1, A, point 2, A, point 3, and it's like A to Z, like whatever. I don't know. Before you get to B, like B is so far away that it's like your test. We have like you have two questions, but like one question has like 5 parts. It's the same thing. Like you don't really have 2 questions, but they make it. They killed the bad person, right? But the bad person, you can only assume isn't really gone. Like I think even Harry Potter in the first book, we all thought Voldemort was injured and then he came back swinging. Like at that point, he's gone for now, right? But Rand was the one who did it, and they're worried because his abilities could mean the end of the world if used incorrectly. And he just found out about his power. But that is book 1. There are obviously other people in this book, and they're there too, and they help in the search of them getting to the other side of the world. But they're not as important, obviously. I mean, if you want to talk about it, you can in your own little video. I don't care. But that is a little rundown of 800 pages, and I did do that. Lickety split. I don't know how I didn't do that with my first few videos, but I think because it was like so many pages, and they did have a map. I can't show it because I don't want to. That pages, I have to like use 2 hands to pull the book apart again. But I do think the book was good. Let's preference by saying that it was a good book. I don't think the book was bad in any sort of way. I don't think the book was boring. I think the book was just long, and I didn't feel like I was emotionally attached to anyone when I was reading it. Right? When I was a kid, I used to read Harry Potter. Obviously, I read Charlie Brown. Obviously, I read like a bunch of other books that had like 10 books in this series. Obviously, I didn't read Artemis Fowl, but I did read like a few books in their series out of order. Whatever, who cares? Sue me. But end of the day, I did have like more emotional connection with them because I was a kid. I don't know, maybe because they were my age. I don't know. And these kids aren't, but they're going through like real world issues that are like, you're gonna die every time you stop to drink water. I don't know, but it was a good book. I'm glad I finished it because it was a long book. But I think this is like one of the bigger books I have, so I don't really have like a bigger book or the same size book. And most of my books are like nonfiction, so maybe I might like it more. Maybe it's my frontal cortex coming in. I'm almost 25. I'm not 25 yet. I just turned 24. But I'm almost 25. My mind is like, you don't like fiction no more. But I love fiction. Love fictional shows. So maybe it's just a book. But realistically, the book is good. 14 books is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I do think that is a lot. Will I see more? I think I will like it more. But I will say it's very hard to get into the world building. Maybe for me. I'm struggle bus over here. But I think it's hard for me to get into the world building, literally just because like so many of it's so much. You're building a new world. You have to make it so not similar to anything you've ever done before. And to me, I just feel like I am so bored of your world building. Like you're obviously doing a great job, and I'm reading the best I can to understand the basic level of everything. But then you have a whole fake language, you have a whole like the monsters are cool. I like the monsters. I like knowing the difference. I can't tell you because I don't remember. But the monster reading was fine. It's just that each location they go to has their own world, own like the people would find. It's just the buildings, the literal buildings in the world building was just annoying to like have to read. So I was skimming it, and even skimming it took me 2 months. So it's a big ass book and a lot of world building. But I like it. I like when authors put like the whole into a book and they give you like a little map and tell you like, oh, this is where everything is and this is where they are at, this is where you are. I like those storylines. Granted, I take them from granted because at the end of the day I'm just like, I'm not reading that. Like, I'm not reading that you give me 3 paragraphs of where they are in a sentence. Like, I don't care, I'm gonna skim it. But I love the effort because the effort is what really matters. And if it has a movie, I don't know. I know I said months ago I was gonna look into it, but I literally just finished this book like an hour ago, and I just knew this video had to go out one of these days. Right at this point, I'm too late. But 9 out of 10 of my video, that is why I'm like super late.
The Dark One is waking, but there will be one who can stand against him, and it's one of the 5 of you.
You've fully lost your mind.
Your life isn't going to be what you thought.
But nothing really stopped me from reading this book. I just didn't want to read this book. It's a good book. It's a good book. But if you ever read like a fictional book that was really big, I don't know. I mean, I think the longest book series I ever read was not Harry Potter because they only had like 8. No, they had 7 books. But Percy Jackson had like 5, and then had like another 5 with the spin-off, and they had like an Egyptian series, and then they had a Norse series, and I read them all, and I was like, I love it. And they had like a little mini spin-off of the Norse series. Don't worry about it. The point is, I've read books that were like crazy 14-book series, right? And they're not usually daunting because I'm usually reading it as it comes out. Harry Potter's a little different. I wasn't born in the 90s, but I think with those books, I do see myself being like, oh, I'm ready for the next book to come out, and I'm ready to read it, and I don't have TV access. So that might be the biggest qualification for me. But is there a show or a movie for this? I don't think so. I will just lie and tell you I don't think so because I don't know. Legit, I don't know. But 14 books, I don't know if they made it into a movie and it was just a terrible movie, or it was a show and it's just really old, because that's the only 2 options, right? If it's a movie, then it's bad, because a movie for this kind of book is like, maybe let's not make it a movie. But if it's a TV show, it's an old TV show, because I never heard of it. I don't know what the series is even called. It's just called Eye of the World, and that's the book. The book is called Eye of the World. What the title is The Wheel of Time. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, this is not a show. I think it would have told me at the very end that it was a show. If it was, it's old. And maybe I will watch it if I find it, but I'll let you guys know. Maybe not. I won't really remember. 14 series is, But I think Percy Jackson's a perfect example of like a book series turning into a TV show, because originally it was a movie. If you guys saw the movie, I'm sorry, because the movie sucked. They had like 2 movies, maybe 3. None of it was accurate, and they all sucked. And then they had a TV show like years later. I mean, like 2 years ago or a year ago, they filmed the first season, and it was good. It was great, amazing. I love it. I read the books when I was a kid. I read the books when I was their age, and now it's like a decade later, and they're like, the age of the series and the age of me when I first read it. And I love the show. I don't care that there's changes here and there. Like, it's not the biggest of deals. I don't mind. I mean, obviously you can't run away from that, and even if you could, I wouldn't want it to be like exactly copy and paste. I mean, I would mind it because I think more shows need to learn to copy and paste than just be like, I'm doing my own thing and then have it just fail 90% of the time. Like, that 10% won't matter. It really won't, and I won't stay long enough to watch 10%. But they did a pretty good job, and they're obviously like a storyline. They're a TV show too, so they're a TV show. They're not a movie, and they're not made like in the 90s, which I'm not sure when these books were created, like early 2000s. But the point of the story is, this book was fine. I liked it. Will I read the next one? I would like to wait. I don't know. I probably will forget this book even existed because I have it on my phone, so I don't have to like forget that I've read it. Like, this book will go to like, it'll be donated, or maybe I don't know. I'll give it somewhere because this book is literally free, but I don't want it no more because I finished it and I wanted to clog up my little closet space. But my next book will probably not be read or start read like until next week. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta be so honest. The book series I do here is gonna continue, right? Part of me was like joking about like, oh my god, I'm gonna quit. No, I'm gonna keep doing it. Obviously, like, if I don't do it, I have no reason to read. In my opinion, I don't have a reason to read because, in my opinion, I could just not do that. And I read articles, I read everything. I don't really care. But like reading a book just for the fun of it is not something I need to do anymore. But I don't know, maybe because I'm not very good at comprehending world building as I should be. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna finish my books. I have to because I have no choice. I have a choice, but self-imposed choice. Yeah, I either read the books or I'm a hoarder. But I'm not being a hoarder. I can't hoard these books. It's so weird to hoard a book that you don't read. People do it in movies all the time, and it's such a like, why are you hoarding like self-help books? That's crazy. Just read the book. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going. So yes, this is late. Yes, this is in May. Yes, I don't care. It is happening. It's put up whatever day you saw it on. But yes, this is the book series. This is what I've done. This is, if you like it, you can read it yourself. I give it like, honestly, like, for all the shit talking I'm giving it, you think I hated it. I do not. It's like a 7 out of 10. I don't know what could have made it better. Maybe the way the book was made, because I couldn't read it anymore from the book because, like, I don't know, like, look how close these words are to like the damn edge of the spine. Like, why would you do that? And I don't know, maybe that made me mad. 'Cause I was like, this book could have been like less than 800 pages if there was more words to each page. But anyway, the book itself is good. Obviously, it's popular. You don't make 14 books, and it sucks, and it's like New York's bestseller, but they all are. So yeah, that's a series. But I gave you my thoughts, right? I like the book. It was good. The world building was kind of limited in my opinion, but I think it makes a good storyline. The characters were fun. They were going through hard knock life, but they were good. The book itself sucked. The book was like physical book sucked. I obviously had to go online. I found it though. It worked out. Took me the same amount of time it would have taken me to read this book. So not sure what that says about me. But yeah, I will keep reading books. I will be back again next month, and maybe I'll complain again about how much I don't like reading and how this is a struggle and how I did it anyway. And I'll be like just the book club. But realistically, I like reading. Reading is fun. I'm honestly trying to like gain the reading skills I got when I was a kid, but nowadays I'm like, I don't need it anymore. I grew out of reading, which is such a weird thing to say. But at least I can read, It's good to read because there are people who can't read, and that sucks for them. But anyway, that is my video for today. This is the video that I'm having for the last week that had April. I didn't do it in April. Point of the matter is, you're welcome, and thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe so you don't miss a new update. And hopefully we see more videos from me next week, because you never know, I might just say fuck it and just cancel this whole thing. But I won't, because I'd be bored these days. But I will see you guys next time when I make a new video. So bye bye, peace and love. Mwah.